to Echoes and Embers today, and we're having a podcast with a good friend of ours, Shawn Melton. My name is Clayton Wilbur. And
I'm Terry Wilbur. This is sponsored by Florida Farrier Service, and we're excited to have Shawn Melton from Texas here today to talk a little bit about the farrier industry, some different products that are available, and just some of his background. So welcome, Shawn.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, how you started.
Well, I live in Texas. I had a practice and grew up in California, and I've been shoeing for over 33 years, and basically came into it by need of my horses. I used to say I'm never going to be a farrier. There's no way. But I realized there was a passion there, and then following that and to help horses is what I've kind of led into, and then realized I had a passion for that.
Wow.
And so just following that is.
So you decided to start doing it because you had horses of your own that you needed to take care of.
Yeah.
And you were able to start with them. Did you apprentice? Is that how you?
Yeah,
started?
I apprenticed probably 10 different farriers through my time, and I still learn from other farriers, and it just never ends, continues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How many years did you work with other farriers before you went out completely on your own?
Well, I learned just right out of high school. I started to shoe because I had to, because I was a hired hand from a man, and he was a horse shoer, horse trader, horse trainer, debonair, and so I rode horses for him, and then I had to go shoeing with him, and then so that's when I wasn't going to be a shoer,
Right.
And but then so yeah, that's how I started out, and then pretty soon I never had money, and then my own horses, because I competed in team roping, and my own horses, he was shoeing, and they started getting sore, and then so in need without money, so I started to do my own and try to learn and read books, and then my horses were getting better, and I didn't know really, but it was common sense things.
Right.
And then I would ask around and ask other farriers, and no one would tell me.
Right.
And
right.
so yeah, just trying to figure it out for a while my own self, and then I kind of would go with my mom's farrier. It was the first one I went with, and just different ones, and learn different things from each person, and so I never went to shoeing school. I just apprenticed, really.
Right, and that's a great way to do it. That's how Clayton did it as well. And so your horses were the guinea pigs at the beginning for you to learn what to do, what not to do. So you're pretty fortunate to have your own horses to mess up on instead of other people's. So you learned a lot from that. So how long did you live in California shoeing before you moved to Texas?
I've probably lived in Texas for the last about close to 15 years, I guess.
Okay.
And but I started shoeing when I was between 18 and 19, and then so yeah, I'm 51 now, and I've been, I had I probably was shoeing on my own for maybe 4 or 5 years, and then I met a show horse shoer, and named Joe Magistri, and he I wanted to learn how they did it, and so I worked for him for nothing, and for quite a while, and he had a multi-farrier practice, and I just was there trying to learn how they did it, and then pretty soon I was always showed up every Wednesday there, and then after some months, then he asked me if I would want to help him and a big account and things,
Right.
and so that's how I was already shoeing, and so they realized, oh, he knows how to shoe, and
You were a
but
benefit.
I thought I knew things, but I wanted to learn how they did it, and then
Mm-hmm.
so that's how it started, and I just kept learning other things, and plus I had problems with my own horse, and seeking what to do, and
Right.
so yeah, that was kind of I just went through it, like pretty much did everything I said I wasn't gonna do, and then I
Right.
did that, and then and it just kept going through that way.
That was a culture shock too, wasn't it, man? Was for me anyway, you go from shoeing your horses and some little backyard stuff, and then you start shoeing some horses of value that are performing and got a job.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And it's not the same kind of shoeing.
No.
I mean, I know the first time I ever saw a sport horse shod was a very reputable shoer that, Mr. Dan Hausman had done the horse, and I went, I don't understand that, but I want to know it.
Yeah.
Right. That led me down a rabbit hole of 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you said that you went to work for a farrier for nothing. I think that's a huge part of this, because a lot of people say, apprentices should not be paid because they're gaining knowledge. And I think that's a good point, but everybody has to be able to pay for the things in life. They all have bills.
Yeah.
But I think too that
Time, too.
yeah, it's a different time. I know back when Clayton was apprenticing and it was a different time. Now it's hard because getting somebody that wants to apprentice with you to just learn knowledge, that's not there.
Right.
But in the end, you gained way more knowledge than you could have ever gained in money.
Yeah.
So because you're still using those skills today.
Yeah, and that's what I got taught by him was work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
And you always, and he was such an example of work ethic, and if you to teach us work ethic, and to do what you say,
Right.
and then always show up on time, and do those things that are like taken for granted, but like it's so big because it gives you accountability and just those moral things that we learned from hard work, and then knowing that you just work hard and the money will come, but don't focus on that. And then I didn't ever have money, but I was used to not having money.
Right.
And so but I knew that I was putting in the time for the rest of my career, and
Yeah.
and that's exactly what happened. And pretty soon, he's paying, like I'm making $60 a day, and then working from dark to dark,
Right.
and pretty soon, I'll give you 100 now, and I just worked my way up, but like he was a great example of you just do your best all the time, and then it'll just come out, and so yeah.
I think a lot of these guys don't understand when you have a farrier that you're going to and you're asking for an apprenticeship, or if you can ride along. 9 times out of 10, there's several other guys that have asked that same thing.
That's the same question.
And when you go for that first day, they pay attention to what you do for them, like pushing a broom, sweeping, keeping the trailer cleaned up. All of those things are, just little things, but they mean a lot because they have to slow their day down when they have an apprentice. To teach you.
Right.
So it costs money at the beginning for the farrier to have an apprentice. So there's some little things that you can do to make a farrier want to let you ride with them or let you be an apprentice. And I think those are the determining factors of whether or not the farrier will say yes or no.
Yeah, when I started working for him, he went through 7 guys in 1 month. And then I soon learned that a person like him, he was really hard and would be loud and get on to you, And if you were not humble, then there's no possible way you would make it. And that's what I learned, like that's why they didn't make it.
Right.
But I was just a person that I'd played sports my whole life and got pushed to the limit all the time, and I could learn like that.
Right.
And so that was a benefit for me, because it was like that personality or what I could learn from that.
Right.
And
right.
so I'm thankful, for being around who I got to be around, and yeah,
it made you the farrier you are today.
Yeah, I think so.
And then this road leads you elsewhere. I mean, here we are. We're at the EOPO clinic, in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and it's. I mean, that's a whole other rabbit hole to go down beyond your beginning education. I mean, it's because you're probably at the top of the educational world then, and it's changed so much. The thought process has changed so much, and what we believe now, we have things that prove that what we believe is right. Before we had nothing to prove it, so it was somebody's opinion against another. So now that you're there, I mean, there's lots of things that's transpired. I mean, your shoe designing and things like that, and without these, I mean, do you think you'd still be where you are, the ELPOs and the...
Yeah, it's amazing how, like, everyone has their own road, how it goes, and like I said, like I had it planned out how my road was, and it's like been nothing like that.
Right.
And I think you can set up, being a farrier, your business, you can set it up how you want it, and you can do a lot of horses and or you can not do a lot of horses, or you can work on this part of the days and not these days, or just however you can work on this discipline and not this kind, and you can set it up like you want it. And so I think there's no better way than experiences, though. Like, we go through experiences that builds our wisdom and our knowledge. But if you don't go through experiences, like, you can read as many books as you want, you can study that, you can watch other people, but then by doing it is the only way. You have to do it.
Right.
You have to get under horses and develop. And so there's no other way but time and experiences.
Right.
That's what makes us. And then so that's where I think it's a tough, like, what I have seen, like, in teaching people and having apprentices, and that's a part that these generations, it's changed and it's lax, because they want to go to a shoeing school and think that they can just come out and be a farrier, and
right.
You get a card and you're a farrier, but they soon realize after they do it that it's not like they think, and then and so it's really important to have mentors, and I'm thankful for the ones that I've had, like, that have taught me, and it's like forever thankful, like, and but I think it's us that sets that up, like, how we do, and it's kind of like when you're listening to a speaker, and the more that you're seeking and that you pull, that's what comes, you'll get more.
Right.
But if you just sit there and don't engage, then you're not going to get what you need to get. And so,
it's kind of like what you put into it is what you get out of it.
It really is. It's 100%. And so,
and I know, Shawn and I, we've known each other a long time, and we've never discussed this, but he just answered the question that most young farriers ask me, and that question is how do I get to that level faster? How do I shortcut it? How do I, get to the level of Shawn at 51 years old, and Clayton at 51 years old, and Gene Ovanek at 80? How can I make that happen quicker? You can't.
Right. That's right.
It's not a fast track.
No.
Yeah.
Wisdom and time and experience.
Right.
And the more education you gain, because you're not going to do it all yourself.
Yeah, you have to commit,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to be faithful,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and like when you're working for someone else, you have to work for them and be faithful and show up and be on time and when I believe truly, like when you do that, you'll be rewarded.
Absolutely.
And so
Oh,
you'll
absolutely.
get what you're supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but yeah, it's realizing those things. That's like really the baseline structure of that's success or not.
Right.
And yeah. So.
I think too, you know, like you said, a lot of farriers come out of school and they think they get to, you know, and they can start their own business and be on their way and start taking care of horses. But at the end of the day, their journey has just begun.
Right.
Once they leave that school, they know enough to be dangerous. And the fact that, you know, if they go out of school without a mentor or somebody to ride along with, apprentice with, they only know what they learned in that small amount of time. And the experiences that they gain are only the ones that they present themselves. They're not presented by anybody else.
Right.
So their knowledge base is going to be really small.
Yeah.
The more people that you, you know, get in touch with and spend time with and learn from, the broader your knowledge base is, and the
Right.
more horses you can help.
Yeah, because it's important to learn what not to do, just the same
Absolutely.
as learning what to do, and you learn that from people.
Mm-hmm.
I
And-
think those are more important than the
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The hard knocks, man. They leave. They sting.
Yeah.
And you don't forget
Right.
those.
Yeah, and you don't forget them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They sting bad.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're our age, been doing it over 30 years, and you still, and it happens.
Yeah.
It happens to us. We run into situations we've never seen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our wisdom and our education and all that, 90% of the time we can adapt to it. But there's certain things that it still stings you, and you
Yeah.
still learn.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The fortunate part about that is you have guys in your network that you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm sending you a picture. Tell me what you think, because I'm kind of puzzled. And if that guy doesn't know, he'll call the next one and the next one. And you guys have a big enough network that somebody's going to know something
Yeah.
to help you get through it. And
Yeah,
the
that's-
guys that are limited, they don't have that.
That's been a blessing because
It is
like I've kind of, when I was starting out, I used to ask farrier after farrier, like, what about this and what about that? And then no one would tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to think, one day I asked my mom when I was like 19, I said, Mom, like, I asked so-and-so about this and I had this problem, and then they won't even say nothing. They're like, think I'm going to steal their business,
Right,
and
right.
I don't even want to be a shoer. Like,
Right.
and and she said, well, maybe they don't know. And I said, I never thought about that. And
Yeah.
so, and the thing is asking, and so I realized right then, I struggled with that so much. I told myself I'm never doing that. When I
Wow.
started shoeing full time, like I'm gonna share whatever I learn. I'm gonna be ready to share it, because that happened to me so much. Like
Right.
no one would say,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, maybe they didn't know, and it could have been like because they didn't really have a reason to fear me.
Right, right. But it did used to be, those conversations among farriers were
Yeah.
very limited. It wasn't.
Right.
And I never understood that, because what was there to fear? We would help more horses.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or maybe make one more little girl smile.
Yeah.
There's enough horses in
Yeah.
this world for everybody to be able to do it. And honestly, the farrier industry, the farrier profession is lacking educated, skilled, passionate,
Right.
dependable, reliable, professional farriers.
Right.
Because how many times a day do we get a phone call that says, I can't get a farrier to show up?
Right.
Now, a lot of times there's other variables that come into that,
Right.
but there's a good amount of times where there's just not enough farriers to go around. So I think the more people that we can share the industry with and teach, the better off we're going to be able to serve the equine community.
That'd be good. Yeah.
So Clayton mentioned adapting earlier. there's a shoe that you were part of, and it's called the adapter shoe.
Mhm.
So you want to tell us a little bit about that? Show it to us. And
Yeah, so some years ago, I'm working at a hospital, and I had a helper that her name's Christian McCormick, and she was one of my best helpers I've ever had, and she good at everything, and I would be making all these packages for treating lameness, and so all different materials, all different things, all different ailments, and so she said, well, teaching her how to make different things and showing, and she said it would be really nice if we could have something for us laymen that can just put on, and it's already made, and we can adjust it. And I said, well, I can make that,
right.
And so I had some ideas on making an adaptable system that you can glue, nail, and then once you put a base on, and you can change it, change the bottom and mechanically, and you can change the density, you can change your mechanics, you can be like set free from whatever you need, so you can treat any ailment with one shoe. And so that was the idea, is where like you work at a hospital and you can be able to get this system, and then you can treat all these different pathologies and ailments with just one system.
Right.
And so that was kind of how it became. And so I made these bottoms and made these things, and I sent them to Garrett Ford from Easy Care, and he tried to help us make it. And so that's really, it's at the beginning, but it's we have 4 bottoms to it, and it has a base where you can it has cuffs, and you can indirect glue it, you can direct glue it, you can nail it, and so it has a thin base that has a core in it with 4 screws, and then you can change. We have different bottoms where you can have a rocker mechanic bottom, you can have multi-directional, a wedge, just any kind of bottom where you can apply one, like any farrier for the most part can apply, on the base, can apply the base, and then you can have the veterinarian, the client, or the farrier switch the bottoms, and then they'll most of them will that are full covering the bottom, it'll double as a hospital treatment plate, and so it's just unlimited, things that you can treat, all different ailments. And so that's how the name came, the adapter, to be adapt and overcome any ailment.
Right. Awesome.
So, yeah.
And so basically that saves a lot of time when working on a lameness case. There's not a lot of guesswork.
Yeah.
And here, let me try this, go make it, come back to the horse. Now you can try one of the pieces and add it to the base and see how that horse likes it. If they don't like it, then you try the next one. Or if he's worn one piece for a week and it's time to go to the next one, you could switch it out, or the owner, or the farrier may not always be around to take care of it, so that horse doesn't have to wait so long to be able to become more comfortable.
Yeah, it came about just like listening to the horse, and then being able to dial the horse in for their comfort, and then letting them tell us, and making it where it's easy.
Right.
And then also the time, it gives us more time when you already have a lot of things made already for you, then you don't have to build the whole thing. And so the time, it allows you to take the time that you would be doing that, which is what you had to do. Well, now we can apply that time that we don't need to do that. Now we can focus on the evaluation of the horse longer. We can apply that time to that. And then so the horse just benefits from that. Yeah.
Because you've been, farriers have been making these modifications forever.
Yeah.
they're not quick.
Right.
You're standing there making them sometimes for hours, and that horse is waiting and waiting and waiting. They're not patient. If they're in pain, they're really not patient.
Yeah.
So we're eliminating a lot of that time and discomfort by allowing these different modifications to be readily available and within minutes can be applied.
Yeah,
so
it's a great thing.
It is.
So huge. I mean, we take a laminitis horse that is sore and having a hard time standing there, you know, and what at most we put a piece of leather in here, you know, and even he's so sore that he can't pick his feet up. Well, we can stand him on a block or something like that and gather that foot because we know we're not going to touch the soil anyway. You know, so we pick his foot up and we shove him in this thing and we glue him on the ground.
Right.
And then we get him in both feet in him. Well, guess what? And you know, and you know, like best, and most of the time, what we're going to do before we shove him in this, we're going to have one of our bottoms that attach.
Right.
That we think best fits him.
Yeah.
Well, what's the chances of on a laminitis horse, both feet responding? Differently to the bottom.
Right.
Very common, right?
Yeah.
So if we just shove the clog bottom or the rocker bottom, bolt them up, stick it on there, a little dental impression before you go, and you make it quick, and you glue him up. Go ahead and glue him up. Well, then we walk him, we evaluate him.
Right.
Well, the one we need to change, he's going to be lame on, so he'll pick that one up.
Yeah.
The other one he won't.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. It skips. It'll skip time. Where you a lot of times at a hospital you'll set a horse up to, you know, you have a diagnosis and then you the treatment will be the Farrier part that you'll be treating what you're doing, and so you'll apply whatever you're treating it with, and then if it doesn't work, then we'll bring him back in 2 weeks and reevaluate. So then you give it 2 weeks and then he doesn't not doing good in the first place, and then it waits 2 more weeks like that, and then it comes back, and then they say, well, we need to change it. So then we change it. Well, we can be able to do all that like right then, most of the time.
He's in that shutdown stage. He's not growing any foot, so why do we need to take it all off? Yeah,
you can just change what your mechanics are or your stability is or whatever you're treating.
These things are tough, man. I put an adapter on one.
Yeah.
And I messed it all up when I took it off and had kind of thrown the bottom away, and I put a wooden clog on, and the horse needed a little extra. I took a rocker bottom and screwed it to the wooden clog. And it's still sitting in my shop because I'll use it on something else. These things last.
Yeah, it's good material.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good, hardy material, and these last. I mean, it's been on 2 horses. One, the original was on the adapter. And after that, it was on the clog, and it was on both of those for probably a total of 16 weeks if you total them up. And it don't look much different than the dad pulling it out of the box. And guy works for me because we're going to throw these away. I'm like, no. We'll stockpile them if we have to.
Yeah.
Because they still hold up.
Yeah, it's been like a lot of trial on it. And really the most trial was on it was years.
Right.
Not just since we've made these and then have been applying them. Yeah, we've changed a couple of things so far that in building these out of this material and things, but we've already, I've been making all these modifications for years, and so we already understand what they do and have had successes, not successes, and so you kind of feel through that. But so it's just really creating it that Garrett's done with these materials, and it's been really good.
Right.
It's been so far, and it's just the beginning, So.
That's wonderful, because now you are decreasing the amount of time it takes for a horse to recover.
Yeah.
Because you're not spreading out those, okay, bring him back in 2 weeks, see how he did.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that didn't work. Okay, we're going to do this, and come back in 2 weeks, we'll see how that one works. So that's just drawing out their treatment. If we can take care of this and, the one time they're at the vet clinic and hopefully they respond, quickly, then we know that their recovery time is going to be less because we're not dragging it out farther. And once you see them, if something happens and they need to change the bottom, you can tell the owner, the trainer, whoever, okay, apply the next bottom and see how that works and go from there.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful product that has a lot of different opportunities.
Yeah, it's
That was the situation when I put that Swan on.
Mm-hmm.
I had her in the rocker bottom. She was great.
yeah.
And the guy calls me 2 weeks later. He's like, man, she's not doing so good. He sent me a video, and I'm like, let's change her mechanics a little bit. And I said, put her in the clog. And we put her in the clog, and the horse was like,
Quicker tip. Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
And that didn't cost that client nothing, because I left the adapters there that needed for the horse. You know, he looked at me like I was crazy because I put them on the shelf. I said, they're here if you need them. And
Just need a screwdriver.
He called me, and I said, get your screwdriver out. Let's get them swapped.
Yeah.
And dude, she was 100% rocking and rolling.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You bet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. Yeah.
So, and there's more to come. This is just
Yeah.
the beginning, like you said. You know, there's other modifications that'll be available.
Oh, yeah.
But tell us a little bit about the type of horses that you work on.
Just a wide range, from performance horses to backyard horses to just all different breeds. You know, mainly just any horses that what I get called to help. Has been kind of my passion to help them. And then, you know, because I think if I used to think that I was helping the horse, and that was the main thing, but then really I learned that it's really all about the people.
Right.
And so the horses are here to help us.
Yes.
Instead of us thinking we're helping them, which we do, but ultimately it's because they're here to help us. So that's been my passion, is to help them put up with us, I guess.
Right.
It would be. But yeah, just all different breeds, and not really certain, you know, because I've kind of been through all different kind of, you know, things and
Breeds and disciplines. It's
Yeah.
basically, so mainly therapeutic and rehabilitation cases. So
yeah, that's how it just keeps going back to that. So
Right.
that's how it is.
I try to outrun it, and it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And I
You
think
know,
the
it's
ones
never-
that have a passion for this, that's where they typically end up, because they want to help as many horses as they can, and they still do the regular maintenance horses, but it takes someone with a deep passion to want to work on the ones that are going to take more time. It's never going to be perfect the first time. You know, the failures that come
Yeah.
along, it's not easy. It's not a one thing fits all package. Kind of like Dr. Stewart was saying yesterday, you know, well, we tried this and it didn't work. And then
Yeah.
we tried this and it didn't work. You
Right.
know, being
Yes,
real.
Craig lecture, that was.
Yeah. So it's a process, and it's usually a long,
Yeah.
challenging, stressful process.
Yeah.
So not everybody wants to deal with
No.
that. And,
Yeah.
you know, it takes a special person to be willing to take on a laminitis horse. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
And a special person to be willing to take on a horse that, you know, has had a quarter crack for
Yeah.
a year. And all those cases, each one of them plays on the farrier that's working on them, and they don't just go away and get over it. You know, you take them home with you.
Yeah.
Well, and we hear a lot of, you know, I have a laminitis horse, I can't find nobody to work on them, you know, and the things like that. And of these outside people looking in don't understand the pressure, the stress, the lost sleep,
Yeah.
not to mention just the stress, how it affects your home life, you know, and that's even tougher. But every time one of these horses, we lose one, it takes a little piece of you. And if you don't belong doing it. But that's why, you know, our podiatrists, I mean, bless them, they're out there in a world that they're tackling it every day. Our veterinarians that are out there shoeing horses, I mean, they're in a world that is not pretty, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So give that you know, when you call these guys that are referred to you by a veterinarian or by your farrier that says, man, this is for him, don't always get flustered when he tells you no, because it may be the frame of mind he's in that day.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what that therapeutic farrier has seen over the last 2 days. It's more than the average farrier will probably see in a year, some of them in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have the luxury of working on pretty perfect feet when they come in.
No.
Those horses, you're trying to band-aid back together whatever you can to get to the next step of the process to hopefully get them to some kind of soundness. So it's a lot of different steps to get there. So luckily with this adapter shoe, it can eliminate some of that time and some of that stress. And we all know that horses that are stressed don't heal well.
Yeah.
So if they're in pain, they're stressing, and when we're having to change a shoe over and over again, they're going to stress more. So this can save some of that time and help these horses to get better quicker and provide a better level of care, I think.
Yeah, even inventory, you know.
Yeah.
Like that was a thought too, because they, you know, having all these one system that you can adapt to all these different things.
Right, and there's a lot of things that this benefits, you know, because like there's some of these horses that are so painful, they got them on NSAIDs. For us to even be able to pick the foot up and stuff an adapter on them, they got to have at least one foot blocked. Well, now we've got structures that are failing, and they're right on the edge of just not coming back. Now we put a block on this foot, and he can't feel it. His pain's gone. We've masked it. We gave him NSAIDs. We gave him pain management, and it takes that block 2 hours to wear off. But we get it all on him. We put him in the stall. We cut his feed, you know, and the drugs come out in 45 minutes or so, and then he wakes up and goes, "Wow, that foot don't hurt," and he does a backflip in the stall because it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those are details that people don't understand. You know, well, let's just block him. Well, let's just do this.
Right.
Well, you know, I've met very few people until, you know, some of the top podiatrists, yes, when I met Shawn and P. May, you know, they're very similar to my theories. I don't want to block the horse if I don't have to.
Mm-mm.
You know, because that can lead to another entity.
Oh yeah, it takes away your feel.
And
you
it
know?
takes away your feel. And let's tell you something. We blocked this horse. Takes us an hour to put clogs on. We got everything done. We're done. We've shot the radiographs, everything. Yeah, but that ain't our answer,
I mean,
right?
we grew into this and grew up like, because we had to display. We learned horsemanship. You know,
Right.
grew like that.
Right.
And that's the thing that misses a lot today is
Yes.
horsemanship. You know, and
Right.
you know, and it's really about listening.
Oh,
You know, and
100%.
and it starts, I think, not to ramp on that, but it starts with your parents. Like when you don't
Right.
listen to your parents,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
You
so
get what
when you're
else?
getting raised, you know, and so you bring it. It's a hindrance. Like
Yeah.
if you can't listen, and so that's where. I mean, I'm to the point where I hardly even trim a whole foot without putting it down and seeing what they say, asking
Oh, I
them
know.
what they think about what I did.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
and-
That horse may not be able to speak to you,
But
but
he
they
can.
will show you. If
Yeah.
you're listening and you're paying attention and you're in tune with it, they will show you exactly what they need.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's simple, guys. It's just like Gene Overnick said the other day. He's like, you know, he said, you may have a horse that have a mile of foot, and you take your nippers, and you're a long ways from anything sensitive. And you take your nippers and you run around that foot. When you get to a certain part of the foot, he goes, and pulls from you. He goes, that has happened to that horse when those nippers get to something has happened at that point.
It hurts.
Something hurt that horse.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be hurting him at that point in time. He said, but someone has cut too deep
They're doing that for a reason.
or got him with a hot nail.
Right.
And it's not, and they probably don't remember what happened, but they're not trusting the process.
Right. Yeah.
And some of those horses, like Gene said, never come out of it.
Right.
You know, they never lame, they never have a problem. And when you nip those horses, they go, oh, he's getting there. You know?
Yeah, subtle things.
Subtle things. And listen to that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Don't think it's nothing.
It comes in every day, but and when you're working on lameness, like that becomes your feel becomes, and your feel only is developed through experiences.
Correct.
There's no other way to do it. And
Right back to it.
That's where when we have the younger people working on lameness, like that's so important to learn and to have experiences, and that's how you grow.
Right.
But when you don't have that and you're working on lameness, you're so hindered. Like it's like you have a blindfold on, and so you're guessing, and we're trying to make it you're guessing, not have to guess.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah.
And you're still going to guess, but now you've got an education
Yeah, you have
behind the guess.
Yeah, because so if you're doing it off of an understanding of something, then if you're not successful and you fail in it, well then you have somewhere else to go because you did it for a reason, what you thought.
Right.
So if you have no reason, then you can't change to the next thing because you don't know why you did it in the first place.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
And that's like when I was younger. You know, I seen people put clogs on, and I saw people rocker toes, and I saw people doing that, and I was like, man, those are good tricks. You know, and then I was young enough at the point that I didn't think to go ask why.
yeah.
You know, and I didn't understand it. So when it come to a vet, goes, man, you need to put clogs on this horse, and I went, I saw a guy do that. You know, I wasn't scared to try it, but then I went, you know what, I don't understand it. So I called that guy that I said that put the clogs on, and I was like, why did you put the clogs on that horse that we saw that day? And he explained to me. And he goes, but what you didn't see is I ground the medial side down more than I did the lateral. And I was like, okay. I called the vet and said, I'm not putting clogs on this horse because I don't truly understand it enough.
Yeah.
So what I did is I called that guy. He came out, and I said, I hope you don't get upset if I come to watch, because I'm coming to watch. And that's how you learn, guys. That's how we need, and I hear it all the time. They're like, oh, well, you know Raul Ross, and you know this, you're blessed. And I said, I know them because I put myself there.
Right. Yep.
They will not turn you away, guys.
Yeah.
Especially if you show the interest in the drive. They will not leave you in the dark.
This is a wonderful industry, and there's some really great people that they just want what's best for the horse. And so the more people that are able to provide better care for them, the happier they are. I mean, we're here at the ELPO conference. We've been in this industry forever. Clayton's been doing this 33 years or something like that, and we had never heard of ELPO. Shawn introduced us to it. We had no idea. So this is the first time we've been at this conference, and it's mind-blowing. It's unbelievable, and every person here is passionate about horses. It's not a job to them. It's a lifestyle.
Yes.
Every single person here is here because they want to make sure they're doing the best they possibly can for that horse. And it's been very refreshing to see a whole room of people here for the same reason.
Yeah.
They're not here, yes, everybody's here to network and get to know other people and for the education, but they're not here just to take a week off work.
Right.
They're not here to, just to get away. They're here for a reason. They're here for that knowledge, for that education, and to ultimately help the horse.
Yeah. It's
The
a
main
lot
goal
of,
is to make a difference.
Make
Yeah.
a difference, yeah.
That's
there's
the
a
whole
lot of
goal.
people diligently seeking.
Absolutely.
And that's really what it sets it apart a lot of times, because the reasons why you go somewhere, because there's people that's wanting to know, you know, and then that kind of pulls on us to seek and like rejuvenates us to try more.
Oh, yeah.
And keep going farther and figuring more things out, because we all have a place,
Right.
and so it's kind of like find your place and get in and go,
And yeah, it's very inspirational. It
Yeah.
makes you want to continue to do what you're doing. And when you see younger generations coming behind you looking for that, you don't want to stop.
Yeah.
You don't want them to run into you. You want to keep going while they're coming to you, and you're able to provide that knowledge, and you want to have something else to share with them the next time they come up to you and have a question. Or so it's definitely been great to be here and see that, and we appreciate you introducing us to ELPO. We've met some great people. We will be back. This has been an unbelievable opportunity, and it just shows the equine industry is bigger than we even realized. You know, there's a lot of organizations out there, and we thought we knew all of them. We thought we were pretty much members of all of them, I think.
Right.
But this one has, is new to us, and we've really, really, really enjoyed the time we have here. So thank you.
Yes, I'm glad I could.
And so we're going to wrap it up now. We'd love to have you back again because we have a lot of other things we'd like to talk about. You've got a lot of interesting opportunities ahead and some great ideas. And hopefully we're going to see you in Florida in a couple weeks. You're going to come down and spend some time with us. We always love it when you come. So thank you for being here today. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you all for having me, and y'all are blessings. Like, it's an honor to be able to be in the presence of like-minded people, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Thank you, Shawn. We
Yeah.
appreciate that, and we feel the same way.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.